equity, and justice, and for the kitchen table concerns of everyday Americans. It's even more amazing to contemplate MoveOn's pivotal role in defending our democracy and mobilizing, inspiring, and protecting the vote throughout that time.
So thank you for engaging in that practice. I am so proud of the progress we have made and the progress we are going to continue to make the next 25 years, because this country needs us. It needs us. So thank you for all you do, and I cannot wait to meet every single one of you over these next 2 days. You are beautiful. It is a beautiful crowd. Thank you so much.
Dr. Rosalind Pope, an advocate for civil rights, added her voice to this chorus of changemakers. Zernona Clayton, who shattered racial and gender barriers as the first Black person to host a daily primetime talk show in Atlanta, stands as a symbol of resilience. And the late and great Reverend James Orange, a tireless worker of justice, was a close ally of Dr. King and contributed to the civil rights movement in profound ways. These names and their stories are integral to the history of Atlanta and the broader civil rights movement. And as we gather here today, let us not only remember the prominent figures, but also the countless unsung heroes who labor tirelessly for justice. Their collective spirit and dedication continue to inspire us, and it is our solemn duty to carry their legacy forward, turning history's pages towards progress.
And in that moment, the leadership at MoveOn recognized the importance of independent Black leadership. And so when James Rucker, the political director at MoveOn at the time, said, I want to start something new, the leaders of MoveOn said, we want to support you and help you and make sure that our members, particularly our Black members at MoveOn, know that there's another political home they can be part of. So when I say that Color of Change literally was helped to be built and birthed through MoveOn's sort of generosity and engagement, but also strategic recognition that we need many type of voices and many type of institutions, it's not just rhetoric, it is the reality of how things happened. And over these last several years, we have done so much other work together, whether it's challenging the police state and police violence with the murders of Black people, and not just responding to those issues, but working and fighting for systemic change, challenging the energy and the hopes and demands. MoveOn has stood with us. So he's mobilizing and building movements and working across in solidarity with other organizations and community. Never forget how powerful you are. And never forget when you look in the mirror each and every week to make the type of commitments about what you are going to do, who you're going to reach out to, who are you going to engage in our work to reshape this country and to reshape our future. At Color of Change, we say never mistake presence for power. Visibility, awareness, retweets, shout-outs from the stage are great, but power is the ability to change the rules. And sometimes we mistake presence for power. We can sometimes think we've done something that we haven't. And along the way, when we do that, we may think that a Black president means that we're post-racial, and we may sometimes think that America's love and celebration of Black celebrities means that America loves Black people as much as America loves Black culture. And take it from me as a racial justice leader that America can love, celebrate, monetize Black culture and hate Black people at the same time. And the only way that we actually do the work to it by building, organizing, and building narrative change. And so the one invitation as I close to you all is to remember the powerful vehicle of racial justice in all of this. Because racial justice is not only our most powerful and salient mobilizing force that allows us to build the type of power and invite the type of people into the change that we want, but it is our best evaluative force to look at the end and see if what we actually won adds up and is comparable to the type of things that we actually want to win. I fundamentally believe that we will get a true democracy. But racial justice won't come from a true democracy. Our investment in racial justice will be the thing that actually gets us a true democracy. Thank you, MoveOn, for your work. It is an honor to be here. And keep fighting, keep
and let's shine our lights. We're here. We're ready. And through us and the millions of people across this country, we are indeed going to move on up in love and hope and truth and light. Yes, we are.
I think you're gonna find it pretty familiar. I think it's just gonna be putting some terms on things that you guys do every single day with us, because this is who we are. We're organizers and we're making change in our community. We have a lot of work to get there, and so it takes all of us and all of our collective power to advance. So, that's our vision. How are we gonna do it? Here's MoveOn's theory of change. We build independent political power, and I'm gonna talk a lot more about that on the next slide. So we build independent political power for progressive change by organizing people en masse. That's you all in this room, all of us MoveOn members. And at scale, that's all those people at home who hopefully are gonna watch this video later or get mobilized when we have calls to action, to take action. So independent political power for progressive change, organizing people en masse and at scale to take action. MoveOn is nothing without members. Everything here is predicated on people wanting to take action and wanting to make change. So thank you all for everything that you are doing. And yeah, I've probably said that to you a lot over email. Thanks for all you do. Next, we are full spectrum. We believe that everyone has a place in this movement, and it is our job to make sure that there are actions that are accessible to everyone, no matter how much time you have, how many resources you have. We want to make sure we have a full menu of choices for people to take action.
And over time. So really, I just want to emphasize that point of like using all of these skills to build relationships with the people that we are wanting to bring into our movement. Because it'll often take several passes. It'll often take several conversations with someone. So we're really building these relationships so that we can build a more sustainable and longer lasting movement, and not just for one election cycle. Yeah, thank you for adding that. All right.
We do have the power as voters, as people, to have our voices heard.
We have, as Americans, great privilege to help everybody out.
Get involved, because even a little bit could make a difference. This election is going to be so close.
MoveOn taught me that the grassroots are the foundation.
We have an ecosystem that includes a lot of wonderful organizations, and we need them all. We need the strongest progressive think tanks. We need the strongest progressive leadership and training organizations, and we need the strongest progressive communications organization. All those things, great. But the basis of our power is our people. That is like the basis of our power. See, organized capital, they got money. Organized labor has the labor power of people, of workers, right? And our movement is so rich with people, which is why membership organizations are so essential. All those other organizations are wonderful pieces of the puzzle, but absent membership organizations, all of that work is to what end? And in relationship to whom? And accountable to what? Member organizations provide the accountability, provide the fuel, provide the passion, provide the base of power.
We need to make sure that people understand why politics matter is about us. It's about the issues that matter to us. It's about healthcare, education, racial justice, immigrant justice. It's about all the things that matter to our communities. So we are just ready to work with, as we have done in a bigger way, because we know that this is not just what is an election like any other time before. It really is so much is at stake. Democracy is at stake, and Maurice, you talked about that. So we just, this time around, we just cannot sit in and making sure that we also have a chance to also take back the House. And we need to do that work, and we will be able to do so. We can have a president and a Congress who are going to move policies that matter to our communities.
because they understand we are suffering from a continuous inequitable distribution of resources in education. So, you see, this is not as much about the kids as it is about protecting certain power structures. This is about control, but it's also about embarrassment. Because I know firsthand from talking to some of my Republican colleagues when I was in the House, the biggest thing they're embarrassed about is they don't want their students to come home and say, Pop, where were you during the race riots? Where were you when John Lewis was crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge? Where were you when my rights were being stripped as a young woman? That's the embarrassment they don't want.
In a recent article, a majority of the book bans in this country are the responsibility of 11 people. 11 people, and I'm looking out at this crowd right now, and there's far more than 11 people. So if 11 people can be responsible for about 70% of the book bans in this country, what could you all be responsible for? We have work to do.
Before I was elected to the Senate, you organized thousands of events to oppose the invasion of Iraq. And over the years, you helped raise significant resources for candidates who opposed the war. After Hurricane Katrina, MoveOn members opened their homes to folks who had to evacuate, providing shelter, cars, jobs, clothes, and health care to families in need. When I was running for president, you helped recruit 250,000 MoveOn members to volunteer for my campaign. When I was in the White House, I organized a massive grassroots campaign to help pass the Affordable Care Act. And when we were trying to pass the Iran nuclear deal, thousands of you attended town halls and pushed your senators to get it done. You also pushed our party on a whole host of progressive issues, making sure all of us in Washington never forgot who we were fighting for and why. That's because you've always believed, like I have, that change only happens when ordinary people get involved, get engaged, and come together to demand it. And it's not just our belief, it's the beating heart of our American idea, that we, the people, through the instrument of our democracy, can form a more perfect union.
Together, across lines of race and ethnicity, across religion and language, across gender and geography and generation, when all of us unite together to fight for an America that more closely resembles, approaches the extraordinary ideals of this country and leaves behind realities of injustice and brokenness and oppression that are riddled throughout our history. The history of progress in this United States is a history of movements demanding more. And MoveOn is in the breach to close that gap between what we believe and what we dream of in our hearts that this country could be and what we find ourselves in the midst of. The attacks from the far right, from special interests, from those who try to divide us, those who try to break us at every step. That gap can only be closed through the idea that is the MoveOn slogan. People-powered progress.
I want to say we celebrate women too. We celebrate it. We also have songs. And where we work on, we acknowledge that and try to move forward because this world ain't going nowhere. We can't move on without women being in the space of power, of strength, of understanding, of leadership, of the grace and beauty that they were created to be in. So I know that that's where we must go. The world will just be better if we get there. So I'm gonna dedicate this one tonight to all of you ladies, because you are the light. Fellas, I want you to sing it for somebody you love, if you know it. Yeah. Sing it, y'all. Say what? Come on. Yeah. Let them know about the lights, y'all. Come on. I will shine. I never knew a lot like this. Gotta be something for me to write this. Queen, I ain't seen you in a minute. Wrote this letter and finally was signed to send it. Signed, sealed, delivered for us to grow together. Love has no limit, let's spin it slow forever. Your heart is bothered by what stuff did to you. I ain't gonna start them, I did it too. Cause of you feelings I handle with care.
How y'all feeling out there? And so to wrap us up, and we're gonna invite Chris back on the stage. You know, we love Chris. To wrap us back up, I just want everybody to kind of repeat after me, because this kind of gets to the spirit of what we heard that connects all of the answers on all of the issues, no matter if we were talking about the rights shenanigans, whether we were talking about culture wars, workers on strike, abortion access, turning out the Democratic electorate, and these three words come to mind. Y'all gonna repeat after me? Yeah? Educate. Educate. Agitate. Agitate. Organize. 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 All right, and you know we're gonna hold y'all to it. We'll be in an inbox near you with future CTAs, calls to action, because we have so much work to do. We have so much momentum, and we know that the majority of Americans are on our side. We just have to meet them where they're at.
Is this big, massive web of things, and they all intersect. So someone might go onto the MoveOn website and sign up for their email list, and then they're gonna get an email asking them to sign a petition, and then that petition, and after they sign that petition, they're gonna get asked to donate money, and it's all just gonna keep going around and around and around, okay? The idea behind all of this in an ideal world is that it moves people to some sort of offline action. Power is the ability to create change. It is organized people, it is organized money. So it is, you know, maybe half that group showing up to something. Having a lot of Twitter followers, having a lot of Facebook people, it's not in and of itself power.
And then once you arrive at the destination, you unload, and obviously at that point, the campaign takes over, so there's not a whole lot you need to do there, okay? So, the onboard training, okay? We provide these handouts. This is just a sample, okay? It's not a full packet that we hand out. I gave you like a page from each section, kind of, to give you a flavor for what we do hand out.
And our calling card is going to have to be the trust that we create within ourselves and within each other. But I digress. So, since George Washington said he would be a president, not a king. That's what the stakes are right now. You know that you've been through a whole weekend of this. You have been through your lives of this. But what is really going on here? Why have schools become such a battleground? I think it does start with what I just talked about in terms of COVID. Think about what the right wing does. Think about what they do when they call a school teacher, when the former head of the CIA calls a school teacher who happens to be Jewish and gay the most dangerous person in the world. What's that about? It's about bullying. It's about trying to get me to shut up. It's about making sure that I don't say anything. It's about trying to get teachers to shut up and nurses to shut up and students to shut up. Are we going to shut up? No. Are we going to shut up? No. Are we going to speak out? Yes. So, good.
And we're asking you to sign up to be a vote mobilizer, to be someone who reaches out and takes the leadership level with MoveOn to organize other MoveOn members to do relational organizing and turn out the vote. It's going to be super fun. We're going to start earlier than we ever have before. We're about a year out from Election Day. And we're going to do it with joy and love and music. And we're going to win. So please We're asking every single one of you to sign up to be a vote mobilizer. Everyone in this room, and we're going out to a broader base of our members after this as well. What we're really looking at is where are our target states and races that give us the best chance to obtain governing power at the national level and win the House, win the Senate, and win the White House. And this is what you'll see behind us. Who's here from Texas? We got over 9 races and counting in Texas that we're going to be playing. California is dark blue as well, so we've got a ton of races in California. Florida, any Floridians in the house? Yay! We're going to be focused on not just turning people out to vote. We're really going to be doing some persuasion work too, talking to people, because this election we got our work cut out for us. It's a tough political climate. We've got massive disinformation. We've got third-party presidential candidates that don't have a pathway to win. They only have a pathway to make this election much more difficult for Democrats to win. So we do have our work cut out for us, and we need to help and talk and have conversations and engage with voters about the election as a whole, persuasion, and then encourage them to turn out to vote.
2020, that was you. 2022, that was you. 2024, that will be you. And not only will it be you, but it will be the folks that you recruit and the folks that you talk to and the people that you message. That is what's coming up.
Educate. Agitate. Organize. Organize.